Would you say that it's a series that defined how you were portrayed in Bollywood?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent. That a very good boy image. Interesting new characters coming in. There's also some characters leaving. But it's still a boy unloved. A very lonely character, actually. You'll see it, season 3, you see. The only 2 projects in my life were still hanging out, which is Fukrey and Mirzapur. After Mirzapur, I couldn't find myself doing anything else. Last year, I let go of a lot of very good films in India. There was a 10-month-long strike in Hollywood, so I basically shot nothing. That's when I remember starting to get like odd jobs. Call center also once. Bit of a troubled childhood. Ek anbhan thi mere, me and my father. Whatever you touch just goes to shit. But I broke my arm in basketball. That's how everything changed.
How did it change?
That's how I started acting. That was a film I did which never released. My first film after that was Shah Rukh Khan's production. Big debacle. I was very naive, not presentable. किसकी जी हुजूरी करनी चाहिए? यूपी के सख्त लौंडे थे. अपने को ऐसा सीधा जाके मेरिट पे लेना है जो लेना है. Until somebody comes and tells you कि नहीं तुम्हें तो चांस नहीं मिला है क्योंकि तुम आउटसाइडर हो. First I didn't know it was an Amir Khan film. हाँ मुझे गिटार आता है, मुझे घंटा नहीं आता था. I was fully like fanboying when I met her first time.
You're also becoming a father soon, which is also
yeah. Vikrant मतलब भाई है यार वो. I love him. I'm so happy for his film. One of the few honest people I know. My director from Fukrey, I recently got to know that he was one of the people who suggested me for Mirzapur. Actually, interesting trivia. They offered me another part.
Which part?
The part.
Welcome to Humans of Bombay, and you've seen the excitement outside. Mirzapur theme song was playing. How did that feel? Awkward?
Awkward.
Yeah, that's the idea. Let's make this very awkward.
I was trying to bachao myself and just walk
run
ahead.
Away. Like, yeah, it's not me. Welcome. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
And there's so much exciting stuff happening around your life, so it's a good time to get you for an interview. We will start with Mirzapur. I've already asked you for spoilers, and then you've really not. What's the point of like?
What's the point of giving you spoilers?
One spoiler, one.
I can't think of. I mean, there are very interesting new characters coming in.
Okay.
There's also some characters leaving.
Okay.
So yeah, that could be.
Wow, so specific.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Yeah.
No, I can't. Not on camera.
There's a meteor shower in the show.
Really?
That's very specific.
Really?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
No.
Mirzapur mein meteor shower.
Yeah. Okay. And how has the experience been for season 3? Iconic role. Would you say that it's a series that defined how you were portrayed in Bollywood in this industry?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It gave a bit of a more rounded approach to who I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very. But that's how we work, right? You box like this. We're all compartmentalized.
Yeah.
And I think Mirzapur sort of opened up the doors from the middle.
From the middle.
Yeah, so you can like, people could probably picture me doing different things.
Yeah, it was very different from the other stuff.
Yeah, because I had a very good boy image.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's...
And how was the experience this time around? What were any fun things on set that happened that we can discuss? Nothing, we won't talk about spoilers.
No, I think, no, it's always fun. I mean, this is also a show that like we know everybody, the whole cast is, we're all great friends. I mean, that the only 2 projects in my life where we're still hanging out, which is Fukrey and Mirzapur. I mean, we're literally meeting up with each other randomly every month. Something or the other keeps happening. So the great relationships I've taken with me forward. Yeah.
And the hype around it is very real, right? So does that also add?
That is real. That's never happened. I mean, it behaves in a very mammoth way, almost like a film. So I don't know how to make of it. Also because it's such and long format for me is it's draining.
Really?
So after Mirzapur, I couldn't find myself doing anything else.
Because it's just like extensive in terms of.
Yeah, it's like shooting 3 films back to back.
Yeah.
So I'm very picky when it comes to shows and haven't been able to find the right one after that. So I stick to films.
But those are big shoes to fill. Like Mirzapur is very cult. And does that add like extra pressure, in terms of like, let's live up to season 1, season 2?
No, I mean, I think we were all hoping the story would be, interesting. You know,
Okay.
it only works if the story on paper works.
Yeah.
And I think that already lifts it off.
Hmm.
After that, it's just magic on sets. You know, we have to create that.
Yeah. The world is very real.
Yeah. But the base emotion, the core, the characters, they're the same. You know, and then they can go in all directions.
Yeah.
With Guddu, the character that I play, it's a very unpredictable character, physically and mentally.
It's a bit eccentric.
Yeah, and that little boyish eccentricity it just turns into something wrong and wild and sometimes violent, and you know, it's all kinds.
Yeah.
But it's still a boy unloved and looking for a very lonely character, actually.
Yeah.
very,
You see that.
very you'll see it. Season 3, you see how.
But you already kind of saw it in season 2, you know, where it was just like
Yeah.
losing the partner, losing the brother, and
Exactly.
very,
So-
very isolated.
It's one of those characters that he just, you know, whatever you touch,
Yeah.
just goes to.
Yeah, it goes up in flames.
Yeah, so that is a bit of a curse. Yeah.
Hi guys, I hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. Do let us know what you think down in the comments. We always read what you have to say. And on that note, I want to fill you in on something really exciting that we're building at Humans of Bombay. So you guys know, we've mastered the art of storytelling for the past 10 years. And you have trusted us to tell your story. So now it's time for us to empower you. So me, along with 5 other experts, have curated a course for just that, where you learn how to tell your story in different settings. So it's called How to Tell Your Story, and the course is live now. You can check it down below in the link or even on the pop-up here. And with that, let's get back to the podcast. So I want to take you a little bit back. You know, this is all now after we've seen like a body of work, you've seen Mirzapur. But like you, while growing up, like you moved around quite a bit. You went from Lucknow, then you went Doon School, then you finally came to St. Xavier's in Bombay. At what point, or like through what experiences would you say that you were defined as an adult, right? Because so many of our childhood experiences in the formative years shape you into who you are. So what was that like? What was the moving around, the growing up, all of those years like?
I mean, it was fun. You know, it was I don't know, bit of a troubled childhood, but that's okay. I think a lot of people have. But I think a sense of growing up was when, I think second year college is when I did a very, and I think I've spoken about this. We had a PCO, you know, like those phone things outside Xavier's. And I went there and I had a full friends moment, okay? So I've gone with my friend, I've called up my dad, I said, listen, I'm done, okay? I don't need the money and all, you know, like your monthly that you send me. I said, I can take care of myself. And full Josh me and all, and then realized like there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
So I've clearly regretted it after that, but I managed, I had to keep it up. So that's when I remember starting to get like odd jobs here and there.
What would you do?
Trust me, all kinds of things. I mean, I don't like going into that, but yeah, you know, some marketing gigs, call center also once, which was just lasted 1 month and I was fried. I love my sleep. So that, and then a few acting gigs here and there. And yeah.
And after,
But I basically essentially had to fund my college, so my 3rd year.
but why was making that call necessary? Did you want to pursue something else? Were you doing something else? What was that whole scenario like?
No, I think it was more of this sort of this ek anbhan thi mere, you know, me and my father had a bit of a love-hate we've always had. So I said, yeah, you know, it was some sort of ego taking over, and I said, you know, I can take care of myself.
Yeah.
But that made me learn a lot of things in life, and I somehow, you know, maybe thank him if I look at the larger picture.
What were some of the things you learned during this period?
Just being street smart, being, you know, I can take care of myself, I can adapt to situations. I think Doon helped me a lot because it was a boarding school and we were usually on our own. We were, you know, it's always, you know, in an all boys school, it's like survival of the fittest, you know, you know, that you're looking for that alpha side of you, trying to, I don't know, just be the best out of the lot.
Yeah.
And then sports is a big thing. Sports is huge there.
Yeah.
So I suppose that really helped me in acting because it gave me a discipline.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, and sport has a discipline that I truly
So what
adore.
sport? I've read this. You want to play basketball?
I played basketball.
You played basketball.
I played hockey, short part. I mean, athletics was mostly like a lot of events, right?
Right,
Like triple
yeah.
jump, long jump, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I broke my arm in basketball. That's how everything changed.
How did it change?
That's how I started acting because I couldn't play sports.
You couldn't play sports.
So I shifted to debating. I shifted
Yeah.
to acting, and I think that's how. And I was chasing this Canadian gypsy family that had come down
Okay.
to school to direct Shakespeare, and it was a play called Tempest.
Yeah.
That's how. Yeah. Then there's this raging affair in an all-boys school. So nice. Yeah.
We used to study Tempest I was at English at higher level.
Oh, lovely.
So
yeah.
I've studied a lot of Shakespeare.
Oh, great. I played Trinculo. I mean,
yeah, but like
that was-
acting it and giving an exam on it is like I still get nightmares. Like, oh my god, like I'm gonna have to really dissect the
That was
Shakespeare
scary.
play. Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah. I think my first film I did in my second year,
Okay.
along with stage. So I started doing stage
Hmm.
first year, second year, and then Saeed Akhtar Mirza picked me up in a film. And he, for all the people who don't know, he's an iconic filmmaker. Is a, how do you call it? Nukkad series जो नहीं थी, वो उन्होंने बनाई. Albert Pinto गुस्सा क्यों आता है? Naseem, Salim Langde, all these iconic parallel cinema that he directed back in the day. This was his last film known, and he's still very much there. He's been a great mentor. Yeah, that was the film I did, which never released actually.
Really?
So it's still in the cans. I haven't seen it. I've never seen it. But it's there. Probably, I think FTI में कहीं पड़ी हुई है. Even he hasn't seen it actually.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like this weird anomaly that is.
Like your first film?
My first film. I'm like a lead. It's me. There's Pawan Malhotra. There's Vijay Raz. There's Amrita Arora and me were paired up with. There's Purab Kohli. Couple of other interesting actors. Yeah.
And so it's never seen the light of day.
Never seen the light of
That's
day.
crazy.
Yeah.
But that's a film that decided like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Oh yeah, that's where I kind of started understanding cinema.
Okay.
And then I think Three Idiots happened. I did a small cameo there. Yeah. And after that was Shah Rukh Khan's production, which was always Kabhi Kabhi, which was a big debacle. But these were great learnings for me because I didn't know what was such a huge production and all this, everything is set and suddenly that thing can't work.
Yeah.
And so the first time you understand, oh, this is true economics in play.
Yeah.
Some things need more than just a good film. Not a good, well, it wasn't the best film, but I think it was a decent film. Yeah.
So how did it feel when, say, you were in a Rajkumar Hirani film, and I loved the part. Like I thought that it was a very relevant role, as small as it was.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
How did that play out when like you were this guy from Xavier's who was like,
I mean, I have to thank Vidhu Vinod Chopra.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the key figures because of whom this happened.
Yeah.
This part happened, the song that you hear, all that, everything, it's all. But yeah, I thank them. Thank them all. Yeah, they've given me at least a push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's often like romanticized, right? The struggle phase for actors who are not from the industry, who don't have the connections, which obviously you, coming from this extensive background of being a science guy and then economics and all of those things. Science guy. Now this episode is called The Science Guy. It is what it is. It's just done. So how was it? Was it difficult? Were there times when you second guessed that this may not be for me?
No, I never second guessed. I think I was just naive. I was very naive. I didn't even know who am I supposed to, go and किसकी जी हुजूरी करनी चाहिए? I had never learned all that. अपन मतलब यूपी के सख्त लौंडे थे, so अपने को ऐसा सीधा जाके मेरिट पे लेना है जो लेना है. I think so. I sometimes might have been not presentable in the right way, asking for a script where you don't ask for a script apparently, in the big productions and all that. So stuff like that, but for me, like I felt it was a very democratic way to start and do things until somebody else from the outside comes and tells you कि नहीं तुम्हें तो chance नहीं मिला है क्योंकि तुम outsider हो.
That's when you realize it.
That's when I'm like, wait, but you're making me realize that, right? Like whoever that person is.
Yeah.
But I'm working honestly, like the way it's supposed to be done.
Correct.
मतलब ये सिनेमा, ये fraternity, ये कितने सालों से हम 70 साल, I guess, post independence, we took off. And very 1950s 60s golden era, उस वक्त ये conversations नहीं होते थे, कि दिलीप साहब की वो lineage क्या है और गुरुदत्त साहब किस एंगल से आए हैं, नरगिस and everybody, so I thought of that. Yeah.
It was not there until somebody else planted it.
Yeah. So it's, I suppose sometimes that is also a problem.
To be told.
To be told, and then you start thinking like that. And I'm saying, fine, it's a great argument, it's a great conversation, and the right conversation, I suppose. There are all industries where some people get more chances and favored more than the others, but that can't be the reason you quit. Definitely not.
Yeah. And how was the experience on the set of Three Idiots for the first time, when you're like with very iconic, like...
I mean, at first I didn't know it was an Amir Khan film.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. I thought I was going, and मैं तो मतलब वो चुपके से अपने फोन पे वो गाना भी रिकॉर्ड कर लिया था. तो मैं ट्रेन में चलता रहता था, ऊपर नीचे मैं सीखता रहता था. कुछ मैंने झूठ बोल दिया था. मैंने कहा हाँ मुझे गिटार आता है, बजाना आता है, मुझे घंटा नहीं आता था. So then I learned like from scratch, and I knew the song like perfectly when I landed on set, but I had to look at the chords. And last minute sir was like, nahi tum na, just have fun, sing, don't look at the chords. And I'm looking at him, I'm like,
I don't know.
Can't do that. I have to look at the chords. So I think Amir sir came and he helped me and he said, yeah, tu common baja le, find some common chords and just sing. So I literally have sang that song on set in front of like some 20 people. Or 30 people or whatever. Close set tha. But yeah, it was fun.
But you weren't intimidated at all?
No, I mean on set, I think that's the one thing in my, agar मैं अपनी तारीफ करूँ, that's the one place I never get intimidated, because off screen, off camera, if I'm meeting you, I'd be very like, wow, great actor, this, that, falana. But on screen, you're helping me make my game better.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love playing with actors who I think are better than me.
Yeah.
Who are great actors and great stars or whatever. They make you look good. Makes my job easy.
Yeah. And how was the Fukrey experience?
Amazing. I think it's been a great experience. It's a great team to be part of. So.
Met your future wife?
Yes, I met her. I was a big fan of her work. I thought there was nobody who could have pulled off what she did in Gangs.
Crazy, yeah.
When I first watched Gangs of Wasseypur, I remember, I was like, shit. I was fully like fanboying when I met her first time. But she shouldn't hear this.
I think you've already said it in a couple, because it came up in our research.
I said somewhere else.
You said
and she becomes chauड़ी हो जाती है फिर. So I don't think I should say.
I think you can give her that.
Yeah.
You can give her that.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you ever think that after you're going to play these roles, right, and then you get like something like a Mirzapur, which is so different?
No, but I'm surprised. Like, I didn't know Mrig, my director from Fukrey. I recently got to know that he was one of the people who suggested me for Mirzapur, because Guru was doing the second set photography for cinematography for Fukrey. Not cinematography, sorry, he's directing, like, second unit. and then he was also directing Mirzapur at the time with Karan, Anshuman, and Mrig suggested, and then of course they tested, and then they offered me another part, which is actually interesting trivia. They offered me another part, which I thought at the time, yeah.
Which part?
The part that you now want, you know.
The intel on. Oh.
The intel on. So
wow.
I thought that was.
It was not for you.
Yeah, I don't think. I think I didn't. I thought I could bring more to this part.
Okay. So then did you, like, how did it move from you?
I said I don't have dates or something. Which I think they understood कि ये तो झूठ बोल रहा है, इसका काम नहीं है इसके पास इतना. So I said मेरे पास dates नहीं है यार, मेरा कुछ चल रहा है. So then they were like, okay, then I think, yeah, then they understood.
They got it.
Yeah, because I said, I think I was trying to sell it like a presentation. So I said, this is the kind of hair, this is the physique, this is how I see it, you know.
Guddu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody somewhere photoshopped and did something and started convincing, you know, the powers that be, and it worked out. Yeah. I mean, I'm really glad to Ritesh, Farhan, you know, they've really been like great champions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this period, have there been times where, like you said, you know, that there hasn't been work? And how do you deal with something like that?
Oh, shit, this last year.
Yeah.
It's been horrible. Yeah. Because I sometimes feel I'm in a bit of a weird situation because I don't have a reference point.
In terms of?
In terms of like my career, because like half my work is on the West, and so in the West, and like for instance last year I let go of a lot of very good films in India, which I don't have regrets, but I wish I was part of those.
Okay.
Because I had other work happening outside, and then there was a 10-month-long strike in Hollywood, so everything stopped there. So I've basically shot nothing. And everybody thought I was busy, and half the people think I'm not in India. But meri lalach hai that keeps me here, and I want to make more, a lot of interesting things. Yeah.
So how do you deal with things like this, right? Like, because, for example, if you put me in this context and you tell me you can't work for 9 months, like I'm obsessed with my work. I love coming.
Yeah, me too.
Then I don't know how I would even react in a situation like that, where the thing that I love doing is not happening for an extended period of time. Like I like weekends are bad for me.
Yeah. No, I think you know what it gave me, and it might, I don't know, maybe something to ponder about. That it starts to make you realize, like, okay, who are you at mercy? Like, who, you know, like you're at somebody's mercy.
Correct.
Ki main 9 months se, am I then only going to wait for somebody somewhere to say, oh, okay, now we are going to begin work. Yeah. Now the factory will start running and therefore you will have work. So then you are only as good as somebody else, you know, sitting. And meanwhile, I think we were developing our production, and Richa and me was sitting on a couch just like this and chatting, and we came up with the name of our production house, and which is called Pushing Buttons Studio, and we decided we want to make cool things. Yeah. And not let it stop, and disrupt some things, and see if we can actually make good cinema. So
this came into fruition at this point, or like you have been
most of it. I mean, yeah, we have been developing, but I think we ek like pukhta ho gaya hamara, you know, hamari soch, hamara vision. And then of course recently when we won Sundance, and we won 2 awards there, and of course before that we knew like how strong our script was, and because it had won a lot of grants, it was an Indo-French treaty and blah blah blah, and that kind of gave us a little confidence of like, okay, you know, we can tell stories, we have a sense, an aesthetic, and if we have the right people championing us or the right team around us, then we can actually make stuff. Yeah, you know, why not?
Cool things happen.
Yeah.
So you seem very zen, you know, like you're like very relaxed about things. It happened, it didn't happen.
I've become now. I used to be very jittery.
So before. How did this evolution happen? Like, are you a spiritual person? Do you like?
No, I think I derived a lot of it from Richa.
Okay.
Yeah, I've discovered a lot of.
Like, how do you
zen.
get over the jitters? How, and I'm asking because people usually have this, right? Like they have this thing of how do I calm the nerves when, say, things are not going your way
Yeah.
at work or like in your personal life, for example. So how do you kind of...
Well, I mean, in the entertainment industry, I can tell, like, we're constantly worried about what are we projecting out, right? Like, even now that I'm sitting with you, there's a part of me that just can't help thinking, like, you know, everything that I'm blurting out.
Yeah.
Because we are, like, what we are hiding, essentially. And when people see that, that's when, you know, that's when the fun begins. But that's also scary.
Yeah.
So nobody wants that.
Because people want to know. People want to know, right? Like, how do you become? Like, imagine the number of people who come to Bombay every single day to become
Thousands.
an actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to derive a huge amount of inspiration from the fact that you came from somewhere that's not within the industry.
Well, I mean, I want to get to a point where we create those spaces. And now the thing is, the problem is, we can talk about it, and that's nice. And we can get a few million views or 100 views or whatever views. And that's also nice. But then people are also increasing in the same numbers, right? New people being born, fresh bunch of people turning 18, fresh bunch of people having new opinions. And it's an opinionated world because there's a freaking app for everything. So, you know, everybody has a thing to say or do. But somewhere, we have to create systems. At least in the entertainment industry in India, I think we still don't safeguard. Like, our unions aren't, I think, the best.
Yeah.
They are there, but they could be better. And I hope eventually I can reach a point where we can create and navigate into that, you know. Because my heart goes out to, you know, somebody, a gaffer on a set. Nobody's looking out for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But that reminds me, we did a beautiful thing during our production, which I don't know how many of you know. Have you heard of the Undercurrent program? Nobody knows, right?
No. I mean, I don't know, but
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
So nobody, and this is something I would love to talk about. So we, while making the film, because it was an all-girl crew, the film is called Girls Will Be Girls. It's directed by Shuchi Talati, you know, produced, spearheaded by Richa, Claire, all these people. Of course, we were all part of the same team. But we could not find gaffers who were women. There's only one. And that too because she belonged to a family of gaffers. So we, our associate, Tanya, she came up with this idea. I said, why don't we start a program for women gaffers? And we actually just presented that to the Berlinale Film Festival, and we actually got a grant.
That's crazy.
So we, for the first time in India, created the Undercurrent program, is what she called it. And we interviewed like some 40 girls from all over the country. We chose about 10. 2 of them were from tribal backgrounds. And Light and Light, which was by Nasir and Fran Bhai, they all gave us, very generous, they gave us their studio. And we had a 15-day long workshop.
Wow.
So yeah, we began that. This wonderful pyramid has begun, and hopefully this year we're going to start like season 2 as well.
That's crazy.
It's very, very cool.
It's insane that there's only one. It's like there's one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now there are more.
Now there
and it was really cool because we literally saw one of them worked on our set. One of them randomly landed up on my Mirzapur set.
What?
So it was like a very proud moment because we saw them, you know. Yeah, that was cool. That was very cool.
You're also becoming a father soon, which is also shared.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
How's that? Like, how are you feeling about that?
Good.
Yeah. You're really not giving me money. You're like, yeah, it's good.
But that's
Just
my
relax.
personal life. What do I say?
I know, just like, you know, like...
It's good. It's good.
Okay.
Okay.
You're just saying it in different tonalities, like a modulating voice.
Because we're going to wing it. Let's see. I mean, I don't know. You know, I can overthink it, and then what?
Then what will happen? Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's probably one of the most beautiful things that has happened to us.
Yeah, the announcement was very sweet.
We're just happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you say that now is the place where you're happy overall in life, like the way your career is going, personal life, everything? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It's like you find a home. And so they're my home.
Yeah.
I like it. You like going back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's what?
Next question.
Yeah. Let's like that's what you said, no? That I used to do all kinds of crazy things to impress Richa. That became news
No, just, I mean, that was just
on the set.
courting,
Okay.
I suppose.
Yeah.
In our own ways. Stupid ways. Yeah.
What is the stupidest thing you've done?
Just being stupid on a dining table, let's say, for instance. I think that's the only thing I remember, which was this dumb, because I wanted to have a chat with her, and I went and sat right opposite her, and then she was asking. I just passed her a dish, and I said, "Wait, just you should try this," and it was right in front of her. Another same dish was right there. So I think she understood how goofy I was, and yeah, I used to write letters on chits.
How sweet.
Yeah, all kinds of things. Lots of things.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about experience with people within the industry who you've obviously had long working relationships with, right? So let's say like Pankaj Tripathi. How was your experience? What are some of the funniest, happiest moments with him?
My best moment actually was on Fukrey, my day one.
Oh yeah, even Fukrey, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, and he took me out. We sat on a rickshaw. We were shooting in Chandni Chowk in Delhi, and we went on a rickshaw right into the interiors of Paratha Gali. वहाँ पे उन्होंने मुझे खाना खिलाया था, and it was one of the best things I've had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful. और फिर ऐसे लाइफ की बातें चलती रहती हैं. मेरा रिश्ता उनके साथ बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग सा है, तो I like him. He's
what
sweet.
about like Vikrant, Massey?
Vikrant, मतलब भाई है यार वो. I love him. I'm so happy for his film.
Oh my God!
12th
What a
Fail,
film!
I
Wow, I watched it
beautiful.
twice in the same week. Yeah, I had to watch it again.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just happy for him. Very happy for him.
Yeah.
One of the few honest people I know. And yeah.
What are you excited for next?
Well, I'm hoping we can do Anurag Basu's film is happening. I'm excited about that. Metro, which has been getting delayed for a long time.
Oh yeah, it's the second.
The second part, yeah. Then
who's in that?
Fatima and Me. It's our
Okay.
story. I think there's Sarah, Adi, Pankaj is also there. I think in one of the stories. Then I've just come on board Lahore, which is Amritsar's production. Rajkumar Santoshi's film that we're working on, but that's more on that later. But yeah, it's exciting.
Nice. What advice would you give people who are, say, in a phase where they're kind of conflicted about like life choices, career choices, or just in general, not at their optimum, like they're suboptimal? And
well, I mean, I would say the first thing that I think of is just do it. Whatever it is that anybody thinks that they can do, you have to attempt it. You have to do it rather than not do it, and then that regret of not doing it is far bigger than doing it and not succeeding.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Like at least you've tried.
Yeah. And sometimes that means uprooting your entire lifestyle, uprooting like your livelihood.
Yeah.
But sometimes those 180 degrees really help. Yeah.
The entire shift.
Huh?
The entire shift.
Yeah, but again, it's easy to say, right? I'm sitting on a couch.
Yeah.
AC चल रहा है मतलब यहाँ पे. Coffee है, सब है.
Yeah.
Privileged हैं हम लोग.
Privileged. It's a good life from this side.
But in my defense, we worked for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I like to think, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what else I could say.
No, it's good advice.
Yeah.
Because people often don't do, like in the anticipation of it failing, or the anticipation of like, what if it doesn't work?
Oh, and ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what people don't these days. Especially post-pandemic, I think everybody became so self-sufficient and lonely, and people stopped asking for help.
Yeah.
And it's okay to ask for help.
Okay.
Isn't that? Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm slowly becoming a little shameless when it comes to that.
Yeah, you ask for help more often.
I ask. I say it.
And it's working out. That works out for you.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, this comes to an end, and thank you so much. It was actually really fun and different.
Was it?
Yeah, it was fun, different, interesting, and not very expected. So It's good to be in the unexpected. Okay, thank you.
Because I'm a science guy.
You're a science guy.
We're
A
a science guy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon. Thank you all for being the best community, and I'll see you soon.